Hello Bookish Babes and welcome to my book night. If you're new around here, the name's Rainy Blue. I'm an elementary music teacher and middle school musical teacher by day, booktuber extraordinaire by... Extraordinaire? That's not a word. Whatever. We're making it. Extraordinaire by night. And a mother and a circus performer and just all things. So if you're interested in all that and listening to me talk about books and more books, then make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below so that you can be part of the Rainy Blue Reads community. But I thought it would be really fun at the end of the year to do a book haul. Basically show you all the books that I've hauled from the last 3 months, from October through December. And when I say it's a lot, it's 69 books. But we are not going to go through the topics of all of these books or else we're going to be here for a million years. So instead, I've categorized the books into their different respective genres, and then we will talk about where I got these books and all of that fun stuff. And I thought that would just be a really great way to end the year so you can see what sort of books I got. So let's get started. You see, a lot of my shelves are empty now because I realized there were a lot more books that I hadn't put on this list that I got within the last couple of months. I might have gone a little book buying crazy, and by a little, I mean a lot. Now, to be fair, a lot of these were through sales or Christmas gifts or other things, and so I'm going to share where I got all these, and I'm basically just going to show them, give a one-sentence synopsis, and move on, because otherwise, we'll be here forever. I was categorizing them at first by genre, and then that got really hard, so we're just going to go with what I feel they are in the moment, and we're going to start with my little romance stack, because romance is not my biggest thing, and so we'll go from there. So, as a Christmas gift from my brother-in-law, I got Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I got this solely because Chandler Ainsley said to read it, and so I'm going to read it. It is a sapphic romance. That's all I know about it. I'm sure it's going to be a really great time. Then we have Flock by Kate Stewart, and I was entirely inspired to get this by most of Book Talk and Bookstagram. I've heard it's an amazing romance series. It's a trilogy, and I only have the first one. And I got this with an Amazon gift card from my Secret Santa from a gift exchange I did here in my community. Then we have One Day in December by Josie Silver, which I had got through Book of the Month for December. I almost DNF'd this book. I should have DNF'd this book. I hated this book. But yeah, I own it, and it's massive, and I'm never going to read it again. Then we have The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. I also got this in my Book of the Month box for December, and I absolutely loved this. This was a 4-star read, super cute, just like basically a Hallmark Christmas romance. It was wonderful. You'll hear more about it in my December wrap-up, but that's one of the books. We also have In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. That is my first Christina Lauren book I've ever read, and it was a 4-star. I don't have a copy of it with me because I let my mom borrow it. She also wanted to borrow The Holiday Swap, but forgot it, so that's fine. But I absolutely loved that read as well, and so that is a book that I hauled recently as well. Then I got a nice gift card from my school for just being an awesome teacher, and so I went book shopping with it, and I got a lot of books, and so a lot of these books will be from that. This is one of the books, Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. I've been super excited to read this. This is more like a love story between like a mom and a daughter, like the bond between them, but I'm super excited to read it. I have In 5 Years by Rebecca Surley, which I was going to read for the Mary and Brett readathon and just didn't get around to it, so I'll read it a little bit later, but it's basically about a girl that wakes up 5 years into the future, an hour 5 years into the future, only gets to stay there for an hour or something like that, and then has to come back to reality and like realize like, oh, but I want to be in that, 5 years future. So anyway, super excited to read that. And then we have Beach Read by Emily Henry, because, you can't just not have this book. I've never read it, but I know it's about 2 authors that end up having to, like, write a story for each other, and of course they fall in love at, like, the beach cabs or something like that, to that effect. But yeah, those are romance reads that I have hauled or picked up in the last 3 months. Forgot one romance read, and also I had gotten Beach Read through Pango Books, which I've discovered recently. Pango is like super awesome. It's like basically like an eBay for book traders, and I'm really enjoying it over there. I got that book for hardcover for $5. It was super awesome. And then I also got The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. I got this in my Book of the Month box for October. I hated it. It was awful. I wouldn't recommend. Don't do it. Okay, we're gonna move on to like thriller/horror because that's like the biggest stack I have. Like, a lot. A lot, friends. A lot. Let's just go into it. Okay, so I borrowed some books from my mom, and so this is a book that I hauled from my mom called An Unwanted Guest by Sherry Lupina. I have absolutely no idea what it's about. I just know that I wanted to read Sherry Lapina because I also I had gotten her book at Second and Charles. A lot of these books I got through my thrift bookstore, which is Second and Charles. I had also picked up The Couple Next Door by Sherry Lapina a couple months ago, and so I'm just super excited to read some books by her. And with some gift card at Second and Charles, I got Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I've still yet to read a Riley Sager novel. I have a couple. I have Survive the Night now. I have Lock Every Door. I think I have one more book. I can't find it right now, though. But I plan on reading this. Everyone is saying that this is, like, their favorite Riley Sager read, and so I'm really excited to see what this is all about. Then we have All the Missing Girls by Megan Miranda. I also got this at my local Second and Charles. I read Such a Quiet Place by her in November, gave it a 3.5 stars. It was still a really good, like, cozy domestic mystery, so I'm excited to read this one this is another mystery. We have a couple of Karen Slaughter novels because I've been wanting to get into hers, and I wanted to read her books from when they came out originally, like the order, but I also decided I'm just going to read standalones when I feel like it. And so I got Broken by Karen Slaughter, which I believe this is part of the Grant series. I've heard she's really gory, bloody. I haven't actually read anything by her. And then, of course, I had to get one of her most famous standalones, Pretty Girls, which is Haley Hughes, which is another YouTuber that I absolutely love, one of her favorite horror novels, and I'm really excited to read this. But I got both of those. I think I have 2 other books by her. We'll get to them soon, I'm sure. Then we have The Girl Before by J.P. Delaney. I believe this was also inspired by Haley Hughes. I got this as a gift card from Second and Charles as well. She read a book by J.P. Delaney, really loved it, so I figured this was $3. Might as well try it out, you know? And I got a book that I've seen a lot of mixed reviews about. I believe it got the Goodreads Best of the Year for thriller and suspense, and it's The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. It was on sale. I used it as a gift card, so I figured why not get it. I'm really excited to read it. I think it's about someone that disappears. I don't really know. I didn't read a lot into these when I got them. I just knew that a lot of people were saying it was good, and so might as well read it. So we'll see how this goes. Then we have The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I've been wanting to read a book by them for a while. I've seen a couple of books floating around. I heard this one is one of the best ones that's written by this dynamic duo. I got this as a gift, anniversary gift from my husband. He let me go book shopping, and it was fabulous. Then we have The Chalk Man by CJ Tudor, which I think is kind of a like horror-y / thriller. It's basically kind of like resembles It in the sense that there's a bunch of kids that are in the midst of like this murderous man that leaves like a chalk man, a stick figure at like his murder sites, and then they all move away, and then 20 years it's happening all over again, so of course they have to come back for that. I'm excited to read this. I read The Other People by CJ Tudor and really enjoyed this. I got this through Thrift Books, I believe. Then we have Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. I got this through Second Sale Books over on Black Friday. They were having a steal of a deal on that website. I've heard really great things about this book. I don't know too much about this book. I'm not going to like spend time to read it because, like I said, we'll be here forever. But I've heard you either really love the ending or you don't. And so I'm excited to see if I love the ending or not. Then we have The Night Swim by Megan Golden. This is about a podcaster thriller, which that is super exciting to me. I love books that have podcasts in it. I cannot wait to read this. This is probably going to make its way to a reading place of mine very, very soon because I've been wanting to read this since I got it. Then we have some Ruth Ware novels. One that I bought for myself through a gift card at somewhere was The Death of Miss Westaway. I did start reading this a couple of months ago through my library and then had to return it because I just was not reading it. But since it was $3, I figured I'll buy it, try it again. So that's where we're at with that. And then I also got The Other Misses by Mary Kubica because I've been wanting to read Local Woman Missing, which I did haul. I'll show it in a minute. My sister got it for me for Christmas. But I've been wanting to read other books by her to see if I really like her. And so I got this one because this is like one of her like biggest best-selling novels. I believe it's also on Netflix or something to that effect. And so I'm super excited to see what happens in this one. It's only stack 1 of like 3 of our thrillers, friends. So like, stay with me. Then we have The Chestnut Man by Soren Svensson. I'm not sure because it's covered by the bargain price sign. I got this because I saw a couple of people on Instagram that had read it and said they really enjoyed it. Although now there's like something going on. Whoa, look at this. I didn't even see this. What happened to this page? Do you see this? It's nonsense. What is this? I don't even know. Interesting. I didn't see that. Well, no wonder it's bargain priced. Anyway, this is also resembling kind of like to the Chalkman by C.J. Tudor, where his calling card for killing people is the Chestnut Man, which is a handmade doll made out of matchsticks and 2 chestnuts, which he leaves at each bloody crime scene. So yeah, I don't know. I heard this is actually really good. A little gruesome, so we'll see. Then we have The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. I hauled this solely because I was going to read it with the book troupe when Gabby and Kayla were reading it in October, and I didn't, but it's okay. I'm going to read it soon because it looks really good, and I've heard it's really good. So that's where we're at with that. My sister for Christmas got me Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica because I've been wanting to read this because Books with Lala said that she absolutely loved it and that it was a crazy twist. And if we've not learned by now that I love Kayla, then I love Kayla. But anyway, Mary Kubica, super awesome. I'm excited to read this one. I hauled this through Christmas. And at my Books A Million bookstore, they always have a bargain section bin, and I always go to look at that, and I happened to steal this for $5. Jennifer McMahon, oh my gosh. I always want to say McMahon, that's not true. Jennifer McMahon, The Drowning Kind, which this was on the Goodreads horror list, I believe. The top 20. I don't think it made it to the top 10. So I'm super excited to read this. I've never read a Jennifer McMahon before. Then for Christmas, my mom got me some really good books, including Verity by Colleen Hoover, because this has been on my list for forever. I've been wanting this book, and I'm just excited. It's about a writer and like a secret life that they kind of have written in like their personal autobiography, and like I'm stoked. This is probably the one I've been the most stoked for. My mom finally got it for me for Christmas, so I'm gonna read it ASAP, and that is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. I've been waiting for this book for forever. It is a dark academia murder novel about 6 friends that one of them ended up getting murdered back in college, and then I think it's 20 years later, and they're finally getting to 10 years later, they're finally getting back to like figuring out who actually did it. I cannot wait to read this. I have seen rave reviews. I cannot wait. Then my mother-in-law bought me some books as well. Like I said, I really maxed out on Christmas this year. And I got For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. She also wrote My Lovely Wife, which I have and I haven't read yet. So I'm excited to read this as well. But I just really like the cover. I've heard it's actually kind of funny. So I'm excited to see where this book takes us. And my sister was very sneaky, and I put this book back on the shelf at Target and didn't buy it. And so she bought it for me instead. And it is Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell. Lisa Jewell is one of my favorite authors, and I have not read this book by her yet. So I'm super stoked to read this book. Yeah, I just, I like Lisa Jewell. That's all you need to know. Then these are 2 books that I have picked up for myself through Pango Books for like $3 and $4, I think. I got the first 2 books in like this fantasy-esque thrillery series. I got Stalking the Ripper and Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. She's the one that wrote Kingdom of the Wicked and Kingdom of the Cursed. She also has a Houdini book, and there's one other book. There's 4 books in this series. I have the first 2 books. I'm really excited to read it and see what it is all about. My mom for Christmas also got me The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I read the final support group by him and absolutely loved him. I have My Best Friend's Exorcist by Grady Hendrix on my wish list, so I hope I get that book soon. But I've been waiting to read this book for a while, so this book will definitely probably get read within the next couple of days. Then I was at my bookstore the other day, and I unhauled some books finally. I have been meaning to unhaul books for forever and finally got around to it, and so I had some money laying around, and so I was able to get The Push by Ashley Audrain, which I have heard numerous things about people saying this is one of their best books of the year and that it's phenomenal, so I'm definitely going to try to read it soon because I can't wait. But I've heard that it's kind of like not great to read if you are a mother or you're like having issues with like being a mother or just motherhood in general, and so I'm going to go into that with those warnings. If you're still with me, we're still going strong, baby. Then through an Amazon gift card I got with Secret Santa, I got A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson because I've heard people say that this is one of the most lyrical, beautiful books they've ever read because it's about the Constanta, which is basically Dracula's woman, and her thoughts on him having a harem and converting her like without her approval or consent and all of that. So I'm really, really excited to read this. And then I got this a while back through some gift card that I used at my Second and Charles store, and it is The Whisper Man by Alex North. I've heard a lot of really great stuff about this book as well. I've never read anything by him before, so I'm super excited to get to this. Alright, then let's talk about The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. I got this when I was in Sam's Club because my husband works there and I just happened to see it and it was $10 and I said, sure, why not? Let's get it. I've heard really great things about this. I'm super excited to get to it at some point when, I don't know, you see all these books that I got? I have My Heart is a Chainsaw, which I picked up around October at Books A Million. I wish I hadn't. If you know by now and you haven't watched my videos, I hated this. I'm probably going to unhaul it soon. And in my December book of the month box, I got 3 books, and this is the 3rd book I got. I got A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham, which I'm going to be reading super soon because I've heard that it's really great. I have heard a couple of like mixed reviews on it, but I'm still excited to read it. And through a Secret Santa that I did through a membership, through the BFF membership, I got a couple of books from this person, which I was super excited about. One was I Am Watching You by Teresa Driscoll. I've never heard of this author. I've never heard of this book, but I'm excited to read it. It looks kind of like a backlisty book, but I'm excited because I'd never heard of it before. And I happened to find Gabby from Gabby Reads, her book troop January pick of the month, for $3 at my bookstore. And so I bought it because I was planning on reading it anyway, and it's called Where They Found Her by Kimberly McCrae. However, I heard that a lot of people in the book troop are not enjoying it right now, and so I'm kind of scared to read it, but we'll see. And I happened to get this with one of my gift cards, I think from my school, and it was When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, because Kayla from Books and Lala read it in January, I believe, and really liked it. I've seen a couple of other people that read it, said they really enjoyed it. It's a cozy little mystery, so I'm excited to get onto that. Then I saw this at my bookstore, and it was on sale, and I had a gift card, and it was Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I heard this is more like kind of sci-fi-y, thrillery. I've heard Blake Crouch is a really awesome writer, hence why I picked it up. I don't really remember what it's about, but I'm excited to read it. And then I picked up Karen Slaughter's newest book, False Witness, because it was mega on sale and I had a gift card. I always have gift cards. I just do. And so I'm really excited to read this. I believe Haley and Gabby just read this in their latest book troop pick. And so I'm going to definitely watch that, watch their reactions after I read it. And then the last 4 in the thrillery, horror-y section is Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier. This is the woman that wrote Jar of Hearts. I have not read Jar of Hearts. I want to, but this was on sale and I had a gift card, so I figured I'll read that first. And with that same gift card, I also got The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. I haven't read anything by her. I know she has a new book coming out in 2022. So I'm excited to read this first so I can see whether or not I'm going to pick that book up. And then we have another Karen Slaughter book, Blindsided. I believe this is the first book in that Grant County mystery series of hers, and so I'm excited to get to that. And then the last one I got with my anniversary with my husband is The Breakdown by B.A. Paris. I just recently read Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris and absolutely loved it, so I'm super excited to read another one of theirs. I told you I had a lot of books to get through, so we are just going to keep on rocking and rolling, and we're going to go with this random pile that I see right here. We're just going to go through it. It's partially YA and fantasy and just random. We're just going to get through it. All right. I picked this up at Target 2 months ago. White Smoke by Tiffany Jackson, which I need to take that sticker off. That's one of my biggest irks in the world is the sticker. I got it because everybody was reading it. It's all over Book Talk, Instagram, and I'm excited to read it. Then, oh shit. Almost just had a camera explosion because the book pile fell, but it's okay. Then I got The Illustrious Dune because, you know, everybody's reading Dune right now, and I'm excited to read Dune, except for I read like 2 pages the other day just to get a feel of it, and I had to keep going to the back and seeing what these words meant because there's like a whole glossary of what words mean, which I feel like that's going to make me not like this book, but we'll see. My mom for Christmas got me a personal development book that had been on my list called Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less by Greg McKeown because I've been wanting to read this for a while. I do like reading personal development. It's really funny. Last year, all I read was personal development, and now all I'm reading is like fiction, and so we'll see if I get back into my personal development feel of things. I just bought this for myself because Jodi Picoult is my favorite person on the planet, and her new book was out, and that's Wish You Were Here by Jodi Picoult. As you can see above, that top shelf is all Jodi Picoult books. I am obsessed with her, so I am excited to get to this. It is set during pandemic times, and so I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. Then we have TJ Klune's Under the Whispering Door, which I bought just because I wanted it, and it's beautiful, like literally the prettiest cover ever. I also have his House in the Cerulean Sea, which I haven't read yet, but I'm excited to get to eventually, so I'm excited to have this copy in my hands. And then I went to, so there is this book sale that happens in January and October. I don't know why it's those times of year, but that's when it is. Basically, it's a huge book buying sale called Friends of the Library, and it goes on for like 5 days, and by the like the second to last day is like penny day and then nickel day and like all the stuff, and you can get books for crazy cheap. I got this book for 50 cents. All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. That's the guy that wrote Cloud Cuckoo Land. I got this book hardcover for 50 cents, y'all. 50 cents. It was a steal of a deal. That same bookstore for $2, I got Next Year in Havana by Chanel Cleeton. I have a good friend of mine that does BookTube with me, and she absolutely loves this series, so I'm super excited to read this one. And that same one, I got this for 75 cents, The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, which I saw was a book troupe or a book club selection a couple of months back from Noel Gallagher and Fictional Fates, and I think his name's Eli or Elias. I can't remember the other guy's name. But yeah, I'm super excited to read this one as well. And then I borrowed The Midnight Library from my mom because every time I go to buy it, it's just way too overpriced and I just don't want to buy it, but my mom let me borrow it, so I definitely need to get reading that soon because she's been asking for it back. And then in my October Book of the Month box, I had gotten Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman. I watched that with the Books of Lala group for the first time and loved it, so I figured I should buy the book and start reading the series. I only have the first book. And let's go to a couple of YA reads, because why not? Like Fable by Adrienne Young that I picked up at Target the other day because it was there and it was beautiful. And I really want the other book because if you haven't seen the other book, it's the second half of The Face so that I can just have it on my bookshelf because I know that's going to be beautiful. And then this was in one of the books that I got when I unhauled books and had money to spare. I got Lovely War by Julie Berry. I've been wanting this for a while. It's kind of about Greek gods and Aphrodite on Mount Olympus, so I'm super excited to read that. Then I got The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas because I've heard a lot of really great stuff about this and how it like promotes like the Black Lives Matter movement, and I'm a National Book Award winner, so I'm super, super, super excited to get to this soon. And then I also got A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson at some point. I believe this was also with my anniversary money from my husband because I've heard great stuff about this as well, and so I want to get to this series at some point. We're almost done, friends. We have like 20 more books. We are really getting there. All right. At that Friends of the Library book sale for $1, I got Beautiful Ruins by Jess Walter. I don't know. This book was just kind of calling to me and speaking to me, so I decided I was just going to get it because it looked really pretty and I wanted it. Do you need more reason to get a book? At my local bookstore, I saw this and I have heard a couple of people on BookTube read it, and it kind of sounds like a really weird book, so I don't know if I'm going to read it. It's about a girl banging a fish. The Pisces by Melissa Broder. She also wrote a book called Milk, which I've heard is absolutely disgusting. Mina Reeds read it and hated it and ranted on it, so this kind of makes me worried to read this. Plus, it just has a weird concept in general, but we'll see. In October, my husband bought me Payback's a Witch by Lena Harper. I didn't end up getting to it in time to read for October, and so I'm going to wait until next October. I don't want to read it right now because it's like a spooky Halloween read, you know? But it was the thought that counts. Then I ended up getting this in the bargain section at Books A Million, The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I've heard this is one of Ruth Ware's best novels. I've not actually read a Ruth Ware novel yet, but I have like 6 of her books because I borrowed a bunch from my mom and I bought 1 or 2 for myself. So I plan on reading this soon. I might do a Ruth Ware reading vlog. I borrowed In a Dark, Dark Wood from Ruth Ware from my mom recently, and The Lying Game by Ruth Ware from my mom recently, so I'm definitely going to get to those soon. Yeah, this book has seen better days, but it's okay. I also borrowed Shiver from my mom by Allie Reynolds, and I do know there are some people on Instagram that are reading this in January, and I think I was going to try and read it with them in January, but we will see, because my January TBR is just stacking up, and I don't have a lot more room. And then my mother-in-law got me The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner for Christmas. This is the only book that I didn't have out of the top 5 books of the month, books of the year. And so I'm super excited to say that I have this one now too. This is a historical fiction. It's beautiful. I cannot wait to read it. Then we have Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I bought this at Target the other day because I really wanted it. I've been wanting this book for forever, and I saw it there, and it was on sale, so I figured, why not? Let's get it. But she also wrote 6 of Crows, which I have not read yet, and so I need to get on it. For Christmas, my mom got me The Echo Wife by Sarah Gailey. I've heard really great things about this. This is like a very big sci-fi thriller type read. Not too long. I'm really excited to see what lies under this cover. I also think it's a really beautiful cover as well. And for Secret Santa that a booktuber, a book Instagrammer planned, where everybody just picked something off of a wishlist and sent it to each other, I got The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, which I cannot wait. I've heard this is an epic fantasy trilogy. Like I said, I'm not really big into trilogy or into fantasy, but I'm trying to read more of it, so we'll see how this goes. Then I got, for a fantasy book, this was because Peru's Project Reagan really, really liked it, and I also got the other book by him because of that. This is called The Ghost Bride by Yangtze Chu. It is a Chinese historical fiction, and it just, I don't know, it just spoke to me, so I figured I would get it. Also because of Reagan, but also booked and busy, I got The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I will say this is very out there for me. This is going to be a really hard fantasy to read. Like, it's 1,252 pages, y'all. Like, I got the audiobook the other day, and you can only check the audiobook out for 7 days at a time if someone is waiting. And I was like, what if someone's waiting? There's no way I'm going to read this book in 7 days unless I read over 200 pages. So basically reading like a giant book a day. I don't know, fam. I don't know. I have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I got this at my Second and Charles with some sort of gift card. I'm so beyond excited for this because I do circus, and then I also want to read about circus. I just cannot wait. Like, I am so stoked. Then, through Pango Books once again, I got Jade City by Fonda Lee, and I got this hardcover copy because of this black dot for $5. That is a steal of a deal. I am reading this with Mel Reads for their read-along that they are doing. They're reading one of each of the books in the series January, February, and March, so I have book 1 ready to go. And then the other Yangtze Chu book that I got because it was on sale and because Reagan really liked it from Peruse Project is The Night Tiger. I've heard this one is also a really great Chinese historical fiction as well, and it was also a Reese's Book Club pick, so that's exciting. All right, we are on our last 2 tiny stacks of books. Let's get it. Through my Amazon gift card with my Secret Santa, I got Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire. This is the first in the Wayward Children series, so I'm super excited to get that. While I'm on this train of thought, I'm going to talk about the 3 books that are on Amazon on their way to me right now that I don't have. I bought They Never Learn on Christmas Day by Lane Fargo because no one had bought it for me from my family, and I had wanted that book for 2 months, so I bought that. That is a dark academia one about a professor woman that murders men on campus that like deserve it, that are not good people. I also got Bunny by Mona Awad, mainly because Katie Colson, who is another booktuber, said it was like her favorite book ever. So I got that. And then I also got Near the Bone by Christina Henry. 1, because it was a 5-star prediction for the year, so I need to have it. And then 2, because I'm reading it for Winter Ween, which is hosted by Gabby Reads. So those are books that are not actually in my space right now. And then we also have, I got the first 5 books in the Throne of Glass series right here, because I'm reading that with a bunch of people over on Instagram. So I have the Assassin's Blade, Crown of Midnight, or Throne of Glass, which that's first. So Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, and Queen of Shadows. So I'm super excited. I bought myself Conversations with Friends and Normal People by Sally Rooney a while back after Fictional Fates did a book YouTube on it about like these books, and then my mother-in-law got me Sally Rooney's Beautiful World, Where Are You? So now I have the full collection of Sally Rooney novels, and I'm super excited to read them at some point. I will probably do a vlog on them. Through a Secret Santa gift book exchange, I got Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng, which I also have her book Little Fires Everywhere, which I watched that Netflix or Hulu series and loved it, so I can't wait to read this. Plus Noelle Gallagher, who is one of my other favorite booktubers, read this and said it was beautiful. Then I have the first 3 books in the Tracy Wolf's Crave series. I got Crave, Crush, and Covet. Crave and Crush I got on sale for really cheap at the Second and Charles bookstore. And then this one I got for Christmas from my brother-in-law. And I'm super excited to get the last 2 books in the series so that I can have a whole Twilight and Crave, Covet, and Crush section. Really excited for that. And the last book that I held recently at Second and Charles, or no, this was Thrift Books, was The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, because someone told me to read it, and so I'm really glad that they did. Oh, and I also borrowed No Exit from My Mom by Taylor Adams because she said this was an amazing read, and I'm reading this for Winter Ween with Gabby Reads group. And there's a couple other people that I know on Instagram that are reading this in January. So everybody's reading this in January. You can come read it with us too. And that is all of the books that I've hauled from October to December. If you look, I have a giant pile now. Giant pile of books to clean up after this book haul. But I hope you enjoyed it. I need to do a book buying ban now. In fact, I'm trying not to buy books January through Wednesday. Well, I already know 2 books that I have to get, which is just the 2nd book and 3rd book of the Jade City series because I'm doing a read-along, and since I own one, I want the others, but I'm not getting any more books. I'm planning on not buying a lot next year. But a lot of these were through gift cards, Secret Santas, gift exchanges, so honestly, I didn't buy that many of these, and I only bought 2 of these at full price, which totally forgot that I had bought this as a book haul. This was one of them, Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Claw. Probably forgot about it because I also hated it. But that and My Heart is a Chainsaw is the only books that I bought full price. Oh, and Jodi Picoult's new book. And everything else was really, really on sale. Like, hardcover book, the most I paid for one on this list was $13. So I think that's pretty great. But yeah, I will come to you with other book hauls. Maybe every couple months we'll do book hauls. I'll do a seasonal book haul. Who knows? But I hope you enjoyed getting to see all the many books that I have been able to snag over the past couple of months. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!